Is there anything more beautiful than seeing the American flag flying high in the sky? It's hard to say, but there is one guarantee. It is a glorious sight whenever all these fans pack into the grandstands to see some monster truck action. They came here to see some of the best, strongest, and toughest drivers go head to head in the 2018 Jamboree season. All about horsepower, featuring the best in the General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drags. Today, we are at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 4-Wheel and Off-Road Jamboree Spring Nationals in Lima, Ohio. We are back for a brand new season of monster truck coverage and General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drags. Welcome to All About Horsepower, Season 6. And welcome back to the Allen County Fairgrounds in beautiful Lima, Ohio for the O'Reilly Auto Parts 4-Wheel and Off-Road Jamboree Spring Nationals. As you can see behind me, looks a little bit different than it did a year ago. Officials decided instead of running the event in May, they moved it ahead a month in June. Are they hoping that the rain avoids us? I have no idea. Anything is possible. But what is the guarantee? We have 6 of the top monster trucks in the country here to compete, and that includes the return of a team that was not here a season ago. They are back. Yes, indeed. The Hall brothers are back with not 1, but 3 of their trucks ready to go at it. But don't be surprised if Team Bigfoot has something to say about their return, although they have somebody different behind the wheel. We also here for this event have some Jamboree veterans, at least when it comes to last name. Another great Penda-style track has been set up in the infield, and we will go ahead and walk you through later on in the episode. But first, let's meet the entire field of trucks and get you ready for Friday night action. Here they come. The field is coming out of the pit area and rolling right out in front of the grandstand to the delight of the crowd. You can see that the skies are very, very clear, but we're going to get more into on the track setup and conditions here in a little bit. But before all that, let us introduce you to the 2018 Field of Trucks. For the first time in 10 years, Mike Botters returns to the Jamboree in the Safety Clean Black Stallion. Behind the wheel of the title sponsor of the Monster Truck Thunder Drags, it is Kurt Kramer in the General Tire General. Former Monster Jam World Finals Freestyle Champion Michael Botters Jr. is here in Overkill Evolution. The second team out of Champaign, Illinois is represented by Matt Dishman at the wheel of Ramunition. Carrying the torch for the original monster truck team, the Lucas Oil Bigfoot number 18 is piloted by Christian Norman. And rounding out the field, the fastest man in monster trucks, Guinness World Record holder Mark Hall in the Raminator. It is always a beautiful sound whenever they give the command to fire up these engines and everybody's rolling into the pits. We are now going to give you a modified power track segment, as we were going to walk the infield earlier this afternoon. Unfortunately, a downpour, as has become typical in Lima, quagmired the infield. It is muddy, it is slick, even though the sun is out. So rather than get stuck in the mud, even though I am wearing my cleats, I am going to instead tell you a description of the track. It is a 290-foot straight line drag, as you would expect with Penda style, with the finish line located just past the end of the final obstacle. And now we're going to go ahead and we are going to show you the opening round bracket for Friday's action. It will be Bigfoot taking on Black Stallion to start this round. And keep in mind, with a 6-truck bracket, the fast loser will be coming back out of the first round. And we also have a couple new graphics to show you, which you will see right at the beginning of the race. We have my logo of All About Horsepower, and you'll also see the driver names on either side, which will switch from red to green to indicate the start of the race. Meanwhile, Black Stallion is lined up. Christian Norman getting ready to pull into the lineup in that brand new gold body Bigfoot 18. Let's not waste any time. Let's get racing. Welcome back to the Allen County Fairgrounds after that wild end to round number 1. Let's go ahead for a horsepower rewind and show you what happened. Here we go. Off the line, you can see Botters Jr. had the lead. Meanwhile, Dishman was already sideways at the hit of the throttle. Coming to the final jump, Dishman trying to pull it together. Botters Jr. kept it straight, goes on for the win, but keep an eye on Dishman as he gets a little bit off course. Catches the hole that's dug into the center of the track to build some of the obstacles. Look at this control onto the left side tires on the gas. Whenever he gets up on the right side, he flattens the right rear a little bit, but pulls it back down. A little bit more throttle control right here. An unbelievable save on Dishman's part. Meanwhile, as we look ahead to the semifinals, what is unbelievable is that even with that save, Matt Dishman is the fast loser. He will make it back. It is very minimal repairs, and he will go up against Michael Botters Jr. again. Meanwhile, the semifinal round action will kick off with Christian Norman taking on Mark Hall, a classic rivalry between Ram and Ford, but this time it is going to be the rookie driver in the Bigfoot truck against the seasoned veteran of Mark Hall in the Raminator. We're not going to waste any time. Let's get into the semifinal round action.
That's what we're talking about. All right, the Lucas Oil Bigfoot coming up against that 2,000 horsepower Hemi, one that holds the speed record for monster trucks. Here we go.
We're back at the Allen County Fairgrounds, and some footage from earlier today. As you can see, the Mega Monster Bus was out taking fans for a ride in a full-size monster truck. This team owns two of these ride trucks, the Mega Monster Bus and also the one they're probably more familiar with, Sergeant Smash. If you ever see these trucks at your event that are giving rides, please do so. It's a very fun time to be on board. And as we take a look at the brackets for your Friday finals, Matt Dishman has come out of the loser bracket and will be taking on Christian Norman in the Lucas Oil Bigfoot, who is surprising a lot of people, but then again, he is behind the wheel of Bigfoot number 18. So he has got a top piece of equipment on board. Now keep in mind, this is the first time these two trucks, at least name-wise, have met up since the Indy Jamboree back in 2016. But if you look, they're in the same exact lanes as that race. Matt Dishman in the left lane, and Bigfoot in the right. Dishman did have lane choice for the final round based on the faster time whenever he came out of the loser bracket. But I think he chose the left lane because he is a little bit skittish based on what happened in the first round. We'll see what happens because this is it. Can he pull off the amazing victory after all he has gone through? Let's find out. Amazing start to the 2018 season. Matt Dishman in the Ram 1500 somehow pulled off the victory tonight after almost rolling over in the first round. It was minimal damage to repair on the back of that truck. We'll be sure to talk with Daniel Lagosh, crew chief on the Ram, as well as Matt himself on how far he came back and what all they needed to repair. But he was on it. 2,000 horsepower, was able to get past the Bigfoot Raptor of Christian Norman to start the season in the winner's circle. Freestyle is going to go to Mark Hall and the Ramator after a set of donuts on both ends of the track and being the first to hit the step-up jump on the center. The only big casualty tonight is Mikey Waters Jr. His truck stalled out on the track in the middle of turn 2. Either a fueling issue or he's got some water in the system, but the truck, as of right now, is actually still sitting in the infield until they pull it off. We'll be back tomorrow with another round of monster truck action for both racing and freestyle in the afternoon. Let's hope that the weather is able to hold out. We'll see you on the next round. In the meantime, we're going to do a little bit of throwback footage for you from a few years ago whenever we saw a big rainstorm actually pull through Lima, and all you saw in the afternoon during Saturday was freestyle.
Get in my way. Come on, Jen, hit the big jump.
Hit the big jump. No, because if you look at the bottom, something's cut. That's supposed to be like that. That's the airflow. Keep it.
Welcome back to this year's Lima Jamboree, and as you can see, we're ready for the second program of the weekend. The skies are blue, the sun is shining, the trucks are ready, but the track is a little bit deceiving. Yes, there are some hard-packed areas, dust might be flying, but earlier today, right whenever the gates opened actually, the skies opened up as well. A torrential downpour which lasted a good half hour to 45 minutes, including the entire length of time that the mud bogs were happening, has made the infield a quagmire. So these trucks will be getting some grip whenever this afternoon begins, but I don't expect it to last. As you look at Saturday's bracket, it is crystal clear that Kurt Kramer's not going to get an easy break all weekend long, as he will start things off taking on the Lucas Oil Bigfoot. Matt Dishman will close out the round taking on Black Stallion in his quest to go 2 for 2 on the weekend. And as we switch over to look at how the infield is for the Saturday action, you can tell already that the dirt is packed down and is going to get grip on the starting line. But in between the hills and at the opposite end, it is very slick. Unfortunately, the track crew was able to get most of the water off and some of the mud, but not all of it. So let's get right down to racing.
Here we go, General Tire pulled up, so I'll get ready to do that as well. So now we're going to walk on the line.
It's a great crowd here on Saturday afternoon. As you can see, a few of the fans decided to go down, get some souvenirs, and get some food before they come back to see who is going to compete in the semifinals. We already know one matchup, as Lucas Oil Bigfoot will take on Overkill Evolution. Who's your fast loser, though? Oh yeah, Mark Hall in the Raminator gets to take on his teammate this time around, and it will be a dandy matchup. 2 Fords and 2 Rams. It looks like that we might end up seeing a little bit of controversy. The reason I say that is because originally Christian Norman lined up in the left lane, but he was moved to the right because it was Overkill Evolution that had the faster time, and he wanted that lane. A little bit of controversy already. Let's get ready and see who is going to take this victory.
Thank you.
it's hard to believe that this is the scene that came earlier this morning before the event ever started. This was actually about 9:30 whenever the mud bogs were taking place. The skies really opened up, and to see that it is now getting dusty on the track is very surprising. Well, here we are. We are at Saturday's final round, and it is going to be a dandy. We have Hemi Power in the Raminator against Roush Yates Power in the Overkill Evolution. That's a big power plant for Mikey Botters Jr., and don't be surprised if he has to use every ounce of it to get by Mark Hall. As we've seen in the last couple races, both semifinal round matchups were won out of the left lane. Anyone that's been in the right lane since the end of round one is getting sideways right off the line, so they have to automatically correct before they are even at the first hill. Looks like Botters has decided to go with the left lane. Means Hall is going to have to use every ounce of driving skill he has in his vast career to get by the youngster. Let's see what happens. It is a Ford versus Ram final. Let's get it on!
They're looking for the anytime. Here we go. One more.
You want to talk about upsets? Saturday afternoons was a big one. Michael Botters Jr. in Overkill Evolution stunned the crowd with his first ever Jamboree victory in racing. He is on it. And I can tell you right now, he wants another one come Sunday. And he was going after freestyle just as hard. Unfortunately, he did not get the double down simply because the truck ran a little bit hot. He had to shut it down a little bit early. But what a run he is on so far this weekend. He's going to be a contender, you can guarantee, this season. Now, you may be wondering, why exactly would I be doing part of this broadcast from a barn instead of being out in the infield? Well, as you can tell from the skies above and what you can hear on the roof, it is raining. It is Lima. It was bound to happen, and it has happened a lot today, and it happened a lot yesterday. Early this morning, whenever we arrived, the rain just started pelting during the Class 4 mud bogs. It did not let up for at least an hour. We all had to be under cover before the action got back going. What was surprising, however, is the WHR Motorsports crew ended up doing a fantastic job at grooming the track to get that top layer of mud out of the way so that the trucks can actually get some grip over the dirt mounds. Was the entire track that way? No. You did see a lot of mud getting kicked up, especially once they got into the shutdown area. But it is Lima. We have to deal with our elements. Right now, we're still in a holding pattern as the rain is still coming down with another intense front that's moving through. This could be a little bit of a problem come tomorrow because they are still calling for some rain at showtime on Sunday. What is going to happen whenever the show kicks off at about 3:30? We will soon find out. But before we get back to the action, why don't we take a look at what you can do whenever the Jamboree comes to your town. The Lucas Oil 4-Wheel Jamboree Series is the premier 4x4 enthusiast event put on by Bonnier Corporation. It doesn't matter if you are 3, 13, 33, or 83, there's always something to do for each member of your family whenever you're at the event. The manufacturer's midway is always popular at these events because the manufacturers are giving you factory direct pricing on the parts you may need for your particular project, whether it be some tires and wheels, or some engine components, some wiring, lights, or just something that you may not be able to find at a store. You can find it here. Want to register your vehicle for the Show and Shine competition? Go right ahead. You can win possibly best paint, best looking engine, or something in between, and their categories range anywhere from stock, modified, or professional. Or if you just want to show off your vehicle because you're proud of it, this is the exact place to do so. Feel like getting dirty? Join one of the 6 categories of mud bogs. Want to burn it down? Enter into the Best One Tire Burnout Contest. For those that don't mind getting a little air under their tires, there is the Mickey Thompson Tough Truck Challenge that includes both the stock category and the modified bracket, which is always popular among the fans every single time. And for those that rather have a smaller scale 4x4, just reintroduced is the side-by-side shootout. For additional information on the Four-Wheel Jamboree Nationals, contact them on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, or online at BonnierCorp.com.
2, 3,
All right, we're fired up for the final event of the weekend here in Lima, and the fans are ready to see who will take the final title. Fortunately, the one thing that is a guarantee is the track conditions are pitiful. We saw during the tough truck competition that happened this morning that the dirt and mud have just collected. It is a quagmire. It is an absolute guarantee by the time we get to the final round, the two trucks going for the championship, it's going to look like they got covered in malt chocolate. Let's go ahead and look at your bracket for Sunday's action. The most intriguing matchup of this bracket, which was set again by a random draw, is the middle matchup, which is a family affair. Mike Vaughters versus Mike Vaughters Jr. That will be a dandy, but we're going to start it off with a rematch of the Friday finals. Matt Dishman and Christian Norman, let's go! The American flag was waving proud on Sunday despite the threat of rain. Luckily, and I will reveal this, it stayed away and actually cleared up as the afternoon went along, but track conditions are very, very treacherous, as you can plainly see. Now we're back and looking at the bracket for the semifinal round. Your fast loser was kind of obvious. Mike Vaughters is coming back in the Black Stallion. Turns out with Bigfoot going down, he had engine problems. He ended up coming back for freestyle. And obviously with the General Tire missing the last jump, he was DQ'd. So we have Mike Vaughters coming back to take on Mark Hall, and we're going to start the matchups with Matt Dishman in Rammunition versus Mike Vaughters Jr. in Overkill Evolution. Probably the best highlight for the drivers and the fans alike is the post-show autograph session. They get to shake their hands, talk to the drivers. Just a really fun experience to be able to see the pilots of these beasts. Well, what a way to close out the Lima weekend. Michael Vaughters Jr., after doing a triple crown on Saturday, decides to double down on Sunday with both a racing and a freestyle victory. Freestyle came a little bit at a cost because already he was having transmission issues, but then he decided to take a dive in the pond and the truck shut down after water got through every bit of the engine and transmission. Although afterwards he decided to pull a Jim Kohler and dove in the lake himself. That puts him in the points lead ahead of the Hall Brothers Racing team. The only other team that's trying to catch up big time is Team Bigfoot, as Christian Norman went out early in the first round today due to some breakage. But next up is the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds from July 13th through the 15th. Be sure to get your tickets there, as 5 of the 6 trucks that you saw here today will be back. We want to thank the presenting sponsors of the Lucas Oil 4-Wheel Jamboree Series, Lucas Oil, General Tire. You also have 4-Wheel Parts, O'Reilly Auto Parts, and of course all the monster truck teams that came out there. Be sure to check for coverage on allabouthorsepower.net, along with a full photo gallery and video coverage of all your events on allabouthorsepower.net, because all about horsepower is all I know.